Hello, thank you for coming back to my channel. Thank you for the ones that have subscribed, and you haven't, please hit the subscribe button and to make sure to hit the like. I think last time I had 10 subscribers. I think I'm up to 15. Woo woo, your girl's moving up. That's a big number to me. There's like a million people that subscribe elsewhere, but I'm okay with 15 because it tells me that you guys are liking what I have to say. But yes, so if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the like button. I will make sure to put my personal email below. If you have any questions or any concerns, or if you want me to talk about something, email me. Or if maybe you just simply want to just have girl talk, or maybe you want some advice, email me. Follow me on TikTok. It's Mama Goof Shoot. And my Instagram, you can follow me, and you can follow my active daily living on Terrica Lynn. But yeah, let's dive right in. Okay, so today's topic, dating during this pandemic, dating during COVID-19. I am currently not dating during this pandemic, but I live in the state of Wyoming, and our state actually failed as far as the 6 feet being apart. No one cares here. It's a very small town. It is slowly building into a city, but no one cares here. You do have to wear a mask in certain places, but it's not required or it's not mandatory, but a lot of people do wear them. But as far as dating, I am not dating during the pandemic, but I am out there. I go out, I socialize, I have fun. I just make sure that I'm being protected, face mask, always washing my hands, sanitizing, when and if need be, right now, Tinder and Meet Me and Bumble and Grindr, those are all popular dating sites right now that everyone is using and utilizing during this pandemic, which is cool. I'm on Tinder. Am I utilizing it as much? No, I just really don't have much interest in the guys that I'm talking to, but I have found that during this pandemic, they even have like a thing on there asking like, are you wanting to social distance yourself, which is kind of cool because it gives you an option, because people are struggling to meet new people or dating or, whatever because of the pandemic. So I get that. And that's awesome that they have a tool on there just to see what your opinion is, So I think that's great. I do think that the dating sites are actually perfect as far as this COVID-19. We should take it back old school when people, they would talk, go on dates and get to know each other. Well, now we're in this pandemic and COVID and people aren't trying to be close to each other. Now we can kind of take it back old school, and, you can utilize what we have in the new generation with which is FaceTime. And I've noticed that when you're on Tinder, the guy or the girl might ask you, hey, do you have Snapchat? One, they want to see if you're real. And two, some people are struggling with social distancing. So they want to talk to you and get to know you, over FaceTime, or hear your voice or see what you're like, which is great. I think it's hard to definitely date during the pandemic, if you would like to meet them organically, which is also, I think, is great as well. But not everyone has the luxury of doing that right now. So yes, I think that the websites are good for utilizing in this time, but you need to be careful because there are going to be a lot more psychos, crazies, nasties, pedophiles. Just always FaceTime this person and be aware of everything, every surrounding, should you meet up with them. I advise you to not meet up with them in person upon the first talking, first conversation. Get to know them, FaceTime them, make sure they're real, kind of get a gist of what they're like, how they live. Like, you can kind of see in the background, like, I'm not a dirty person, I keep up with myself, so you have like an idea of like what my life is kind of like, I wouldn't come off as a psycho killer, but I do think it's hard to date during this pandemic, yes, but I just want you to be smart if you are utilizing these websites. My first thing would be to add them on Snapchat, or if you have an iPhone, get their number and start FaceTiming, should you feel comfortable doing that. But I definitely think that you need to be face-to-face. and see what they're about. That way you have a feel of it. And just because they have all this glorious stuff and they keep well, does not mean that there's not an ugly person on the other side of that. So just be cautious of that too. Say you guys are talking for a few months, and then you guys decide to meet up, that's great. Just make sure that it's in public, or you have a friend with you, or just someone has to be there. Someone has to be a witness. I know, like Kevin Hart, I don't want to be a witness is what I'm saying. No, you want a witness there. You need a witness there. That's just the struggle you're going to have to go through during the pandemic if you're trying to date and see other people, but you're not really trying to do it organically because you're not really out there like that because you're trying to keep yourself safe. If you have kids, you don't want to pass it on. This goes for single parents. I'm a single parent. I don't really date, one, because I'm not really ready to date, and two, I have a little person and I have kids, and I don't know what that person has. I don't know where they've been. I don't know who they've been kissing. Like, there's just so much going on that I don't want it being passed on to me and then me passed on to my children. Like, you just have to be very, very cautious. If you're not single, great. It'll be just on you, less of a responsibility, I would utilize the dating sites if you possibly can. I would stay away from POF though. There are some weirdos, creepers, I don't know. You could even utilize Facebook, Instagram, it's more appropriate and it's less of a catfish, if you will. But I've never met a guy on Tinder if I haven't seen them. I'd meet them on Tinder and then I'd add them on Snapchat and then I would talk to them. I would see them, I'd hear their voice, and then we'd meet. And I always had a friend with me just in case anything popped off. You always want to be cautious of that because people on Tinder are not who you think they are. Trust me. But yes, during the pandemic, it sucks. It's terrible. I'm so fucking over it, honestly. This mask, I can't even fucking breathe. California is burning down. We got Yellowstone up here in Wyoming. That's about to blow up anytime soon. That would be the only thing left of 2020 here in Wyoming. But this smoke, man, no one wants to be outside. So if you're trying to date or you're just bored, I honestly use Tinder because I'm bored. I work all the time. It's 6:00 at night and I'm supposed to have this video an hour ago, but I'm making it right now. So I'm behind, and I honestly just look at it because I'm bored, but no one's actually got my interest, relationship wise. Most of the guys want to hook up. I'm a classy gal. I don't do that kind of stuff. Maybe I did in my 20s, but I'm a woman now, so I value myself a lot more. So if I do talk to a guy on Tinder, I always add him on Snapchat, and I always, push out my voice. That way they can hear what I sound like, and then a video, just so they know I'm not fake or catfishing. But always just please be careful when and if you are utilizing these websites, if you do not want to do it organically. Now, if you're in this pandemic, which we are, and you want to do it organically, just be careful, COVID's out there. You don't know who has it. And do your research because that shit says 2 to 14 days of no symptoms. A lot of people actually had COVID back in December 2019, November 2019, and had this bad cold, they just had bad symptoms, bad respiratory, coughing, and they just kept saying it was the worst cold I've ever had. Come to find out they had antibodies of COVID because they had it at that time. And I was around this when I was pregnant, and I was just thinking, oh, it's just a cold. But then COVID came out, and then everyone got tested, and they all had freaking antibodies of it because they had it. So just be aware of that. It doesn't matter if they look beautiful and they have a great job and they don't look sick, they don't have any symptoms. You need to be very cautious. Wash your hands. Practice social distancing if you are trying to date. if you are in a scenery like a bar, that might be a little bit different. I'm assuming if you're pumped up and you're good to go, you have good energy, you're not really feeling down, but just still be cautious because you just don't know what's out there. I mean, you still got the flu, influenza, you always got shit out there, but everyone has to take the pandemic seriously, just like everyone thinks that Trump is going to be, you know, in office again. I'm just kidding. I don't really give a fuck about all that, but really, it's a real thing. It's serious. It's out there. But just be cautious. If you are at home and you don't have the luxury of going out, or you're just like, no, fuck that, I ain't going out there, utilize the websites. Facebook, Instagram, you can date and meet people on all kinds of different sites. Snapchat has weird shit that I don't even know about because I'm old and shit, and I'm not up to date with the shit, you know. I know what I know, and I do what I can, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so my friend was actually seeing people from, you know, a site, a dating site, and he was like, you should push out, you know, information about like dating during the COVID and the pandemic. And I was like, that would be a good topic. But our state failed. Our state don't give a fuck who's where and who's touching what. Like, a lot of elderly here wear masks and stuff, but you'll never see the younger generation wearing them. I wear it occasionally just because when I was in Alaska with my mom, you had to wear it everywhere you went. Everywhere you went. There was no, they will send your ass right back out the door. I mean, Jesus, going into Alaska, you had to pay $250 and get tested right then and there, and you had to wait for your results to enter Alaska. So they ain't playing. They ain't playing. So I just learned from then. So when I came back home, I started wearing my mask a lot more often. And again, I have a baby, so I'm very cautious. I'm always cleaning, washing. And then we got the smoke going. So we live in a small ass town. Half the goddamn town is on dating sites. You know, so it's one of those, you're on Tinder and then you go out and then that person's like, hey, I saw you on Tinder, because our town is just that small. Like, it's just that fucking small. Everyone knows everybody. And it's terrible. It's terrible how everyone knows everybody. Like, I mean it. Everyone knows everybody. It's terrible. No one should be on a dating site because you can just hit them up on Facebook. That's how small this fucking town is. Hate Cheyenne with my life. But I'm not from here, so I ain't got to represent. But yes, pandemic sucks. Make sure you're getting tested. I got tested. People make it so, they're so dramatic about it. It's literally like, yes, it's like really long. Okay, it's long, yes, like that. And it goes up your nose. It literally tickled me. Like, yeah, there's something going up your nose. You don't have something going up your nose on a regular basis. So it's going to be a lot different. So you're good. But I'm going to wrap it up. If you haven't subscribe, hit that like button, email me, whatever, and catch me next week. I love you guys.